You look like you haven't had a nightmare in a while. Allow me to assist with that. So people have always been attracted to the weird and the occult. There's just something about scary stories that intrigues people. And most scary stories are fiction, so people take comfort in the idea that the things within the story never existed. But what happens when they actually did? Well, not all horror stories are based in fiction, and some of the objects that make those stories so scary actually exist in our world today. And while it might be tempting for many people to simply dismiss these objects as the work of superstition, the documented circumstances surrounding some of these objects are way too compelling to deny that something more sinister might be at play. So without any further ado, here are 10 terrifying cursed objects that actually exist. Number 1 is the Book Box. In 2001, a man named Kevin Mannis purchased a wine cabinet at an estate sale and immediately started having terrible nightmares, as did the people around him. He decided to give away the cabinet to his mother, who had a stroke the very same day she received it. Each owner since then has reported horrible events upon coming into possession of the cabinet. Its last owner, Jason Haxon, developed a strange skin disease among other medical conditions. The origins of the box were traced back to a Holocaust survivor and is believed to be possessed by a Debuk, an evil spirit in Jewish mythology. Upon learning this, Haxon, with the help of local rabbis, decided to hide the box from the rest of the world so that it can't do any more damage. But its legend lives on, and in fact was the inspiration for the 2012 movie The Possession. Well, it's always good to know that there's haunted wine cabinets out there. Think about that next time you crack open a bottle. Number 2 is Annabelle the Doll. Annabelle the Doll was originally discovered in an antique shop in 1970. After being purchased as a gift from a mother to her daughter Donna, strange happenings began occurring. Upon receiving it and bringing it home, she noticed that over time the doll would appear in other rooms that she did not put it. In addition, little notes would begin appearing around her apartment randomly, and fresh droplets of blood would appear on the doll's dress. As the unexplained phenomena increased, the girl finally contacted renowned psychic investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who determined that the doll was possessed by a demon. The doll was ultimately given to the Warrens, who put it in a glass cabinet where it remains to this day in their occult museum in Connecticut. The sign on the glass reads, "Warning, positively do not open," as if people need a warning not to touch a psychotic demon doll. Number 3 is the Hands Resist Him painting. Painted by artist Bill Stoneham, the Hands Resist Him is considered one of the world's most haunted pieces of art. Each owner has passed on a similar warning to the next potential buyer, which is that come nightfall, the figures within the painting either move or disappear entirely. Many people that have simply viewed the painting have complained about immediately feeling sick or weak. According to the artist, the doorway represents a threshold between this world and, well, another. The most striking coincidence documented is that the owner of the first gallery to ever show the painting and the art critic that reviewed it both died within 1 year of first seeing it. And I don't know if looking at copies of the painting has the same effect or not, but if it does, oops, sorry. Number 4 is the Crying Boy painting. The Crying Boy painting was created by Italian artist Giovanni Bragolin in the 1950s and quickly became famous. Or should I say infamous. Over the years, the painting became very popular and thus mass-produced and was hung in many homes across Britain. However, it soon became widely reported that many of these homes began mysteriously catching fire, with many of them burning to the ground. But as unsettling as that is, the most disturbing thing is that in many of these homes, the painting of the Crying Boy was discovered, and not only that, but they were all untouched by the raging flames. Now, some attribute these fires to pure coincidence, but the undamaged paintings have yet to be explained. I think the real mystery here is why so many people want a picture of a crying boy in their homes. Some of y'all are sick in the head. Number 5 is Buzzbee's Stoop chair. This notorious chair once belonged to convicted murderer Thomas Buzzbee. Before he was hanged for his crimes, his final request was to have a meal at his favorite local pub. However, upon finishing his meal, he stood and proclaimed, "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit in my chair." Since then, a supposed 63 people who have sat in the chair met their untimely deaths, sometimes mere moments after sitting in it. When the number of deaths became too coincidental, the pub owner donated the chair to the Thirsk Museum in the UK in 1972. The chair is still there today, where it's hung 1.5 meters off of the ground to prevent any further coincidences. Number 6 is Anna Baker's wedding dress. In the mid-1800s, a young girl named Anna Baker, who came from a wealthy family, fell in love with a low-class ironworker. They planned a wedding and she even bought a dress, but when her father discovered the relationship, he forbid the wedding. From that point on, she refused to marry anybody else and spent the rest of her life alone, bitter, and angry until her death in 1914. That wedding dress has since been put on display in her old bedroom at the old Baker mansion. It's often observed moving by itself, which could be attributed to a draft or something, except for the fact that it's in an airtight glass case. Some believe that it's Anna's spirit inhabiting the dress, dancing her wedding dance that she never got to have while she was living. Clearly not a dress that you'd want to donate to Goodwill, I assure you. Number 7 is the Bassano Vase. The Bassano Vase was made from carved silver in the 15th century by an Italian maiden on her wedding night. That very same night, she was found murdered clutching the vase. After her death, the vase was passed on from family member to family member, with each dying an untimely death until eventually the vase was hidden away. Unfortunately, in 1988, the vase was discovered again with a note that read, "Beware, this vase brings death." The chain of deaths continued with each new owner claiming more and more lives. It was even offered to multiple museums, each refusing to take it because of the perceived curse on it. Where it remains now is unclear, but it's believed to be buried in a lead coffin somewhere that is not accessible, at least to the living. Number 8 is the Hope Diamond. The Hope Diamond is the most famous and famously cursed diamond in the world. This 45.5 carat diamond was formed in the earth 1.1 billion years ago, and since its discovery has been owned by several notable people, including a few kings. As it's passed from owner to owner, country to country, the diamond has been known to be plagued with a curse that causes great misfortune to anyone who possesses it. Those who have owned it have suffered disgrace, divorce, suicide, imprisonment, torture, and financial ruin. It currently resides in the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C., where it's observable by the public. The diamond is never loaned out for any reason, given its value of almost $250 million, and also so that it can never harm another living person. Number 9 are the Maori warrior masks. The Maori warriors of New Zealand lived long ago and used to carve out masks and statues before heading into battle. According to the Maori belief system, any man who died in battle would leave his soul behind in one of the masks. Oddly, although the masks seemed to pose no threat to men, it was found that over time women that were pregnant that came close to the masks suffered complications or other unfortunate events. Several exist in a museum in New Zealand today, but are displayed with a warning that women that are expecting should not come close to the masks for their own safety and the safety of their child. It was never explained why the perceived curse only seems to affect pregnant women, but it's best not to think of this as simply superstition because it's simply not worth the risk. And number 10 is the Myrtles Plantation mirror. We've talked about the Myrtles Plantation before as one of the most haunted places in the world, but perhaps the most haunted item on the premises is a mirror that was added to the home in 1980. Legend claims that the mirror contains the spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her children who were poisoned to death on the premises. Guests of the plantation have reported seeing figures lurking in the mirror and child-sized handprints on the glass. But mirrors have always been the subject of the supernatural and have been known to harbor evil spirits. So feel free to remember that next time you walk by one in the middle of the night. And that's all for this time, guys. Honorable mention, Robert the Doll, which is definitely something that deserves to be on this list, except that I've talked about it at length before, and frankly, I don't want to piss him off by talking about him again. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter and give that like button a click, and I will see you all back here next Saturday with a brand new video. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching my new video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, remember to click that big red subscribe button below, and don't forget that I have a second channel, so if you want to check that out, I do product reviews and daily vlogs and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you want to see that, click the annotation on the screen or in the description. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye. Sweet dreams.